definitely take that one.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Steve Cooper here in Deep on the Delta. Today we're going to do a short video on repairing worms. We're going to talk about how we repair not only worms but creature baits and anything plastic. Plastic worms are probably going to be your biggest expense over the years. I go through hundreds of these. So for those of you who are repairing them, I've got a few tricks that you may not have seen. If you're not repairing them, you're really missing out, so you got to watch this and you're going to save a lot of money. Let's get to the bench and see how we do this. Alright guys, before we get started, let's talk about the cost per worm. I went to a national outlet, I priced the worms per bag, and then I broke them down through each individual worm or beaver or D-bomb or whatever we have, whatever craw bait we have. I added tax, so this price may be a little different from where you are, but it's a pretty close price. So the Yamamoto Flappin' Hog is $1.50 per bait. A 6-inch Yamamoto Cinco is $1.45. You can see the missile bombs, 72 power craws, 60 cents, Reaction Innovations, the beavers, 54 cents. 6-inch Robo Worm, which is super popular, only 46 cents. That's a bargain. And the Trick Worm is a real bargain. The 6.5 is 25 cents. So you can spend a lot of money on plastics over the course of a year, and you can save literally hundreds of dollars by repairing them. Now I use Mend It. It's a soft bait glue. It's sold at Tackle Warehouse. It's $8.99, and this is the half-ounce bottle. That's what I would suggest for most people. The company says it'll repair about 800 baits. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the worms, where they rip and why they rip. And again, it doesn't matter what hook you're using, they're all going to rip, and most of them are ripping right in this area, right up here. They're going to pull down, and we all have this situation where we come out and the bait's like this. This one's really tore up. It's got to rip where the hook point. That's the secondary problem, where the hook point is. They'll pull over and they'll rip in here, and that's what's happened to this bait here. It's tore up. You guys have found that on lots of baits. Let me find one that's really got a problem, like we were talking about. Here's one. This one's ripped up here. And these are all repairable baits. You can see that. And you'll also see that one of the things that I do is I will cut my head off of the bait as it gets torn up. But what I mean by that is this is a 6-inch Cinco, and obviously this is a 7.5 cut tail. But as these get tore up here, I will cut a little piece off and just kind of work them down. But if I pull these baits off before they're completely tore up, I can actually repair the whole bait with the head on it and use it again. So it's kind of important to really start looking at your baits, and when they get torn, before they totally get torn up, put them in a little box like this that's on your boat, and daily or weekly come in and repair the baits. Anyhow, now we're going to start doing a few bait repairs. Now here's one that's really tore up. You can tell this bait's been eaten up. I've got a Frenzy Wacky saddle, and I probably used that one way too much. I can repair this bait, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this off. If you're using Yamamoto baits, this part here works great for a Ned rig, so I can keep that and reuse it. This one here is really tore up, so this is a good one to practice on. Now, the Mend It, it comes in this 1/2-inch bottle, and it comes with a applicator that has a brush. I don't use that. Here's a little trick you can do. You can go down to Hobby Lobby or one of your favorite hobby stores and buy these little syringe bottles for literally pennies. I think I buy 6 of them for $1 or whatever. And I put just, a little bit in them. It saves me from opening and closing this bottle. And this applicator here, this injector applicator, is so much more efficient to repair the baits. So I suggest when you buy the Mend It, you go down to the hobby store and get one of these. And what you do is I'll take this bait here and we'll open that up, and you'll see how much more efficient this is by just taking it and putting just a little dab on both sides, and we'll squeeze that together. And this one's already been cut, but I kind of wanted to show you, you got to hold them together for about 10 or 15 seconds, and that will literally mend together. I'm going to take this, same thing, just a little bit, kind of work it around there, work it on here. You can see I'm really not wasting much mend it at all. And then I'll hold it down here for just a minute. Now, while I'm holding that, I'm going to show you another bait. You've heard me talk about these Mann's hardheads, which I use as a trailer on my chatterbaits, and I really like these things. And these have a split in the middle, so when they get tore up, they get tore up right here. And this is a really hard plastic. But watch this, guys. We're going to open this up. We're going to put a couple of drops of glue in here. And again, you can get way down in this thing. I'm going to show you a trick that I usually do. Okay, so we're going to let these two baits just sit a minute, and I'm going to repair a RoboWorm. Now you can see this RoboWorm I have used with a nose rig on a drop shot, meaning like this. So there's a big hole in the head, and there's a little rip where we have a fish that's eating it. So with the applicator, I can just stick a little bit of glue in there, hold it together. I'll hold that with my thumb, and I'm doing this a lot faster than I usually would. It does take about 10-15 seconds of holding it down there. And what I'm going to do here, I don't care if this comes apart, but I wanted to show you how I repair these with this applicator. Let me clean this off a bit. I can find the hole where the hook went through somewhere. There it is. You can see how that applicator goes right in that hole. I'm going to just drop a little glue in there, and this worm here is as good as new. You can't do that with the brush. That's why I like this applicator, and I haven't really wasted any of the Mend It. This is already starting to set up. We're going to put this one down here, and after these set up, these things are going to be as good as new. I'll do one more bait. Here is a Missile D-Bomb. This is a real popular punching bait, and generally once the appendages come off of these baits like this, I don't mess with them. Here is a beaver, and this is one, oh, that one's got an appendage off of it too. Here's a flapping hog. That's a perfectly good bait. So let's do this one. I've got some damage right up here. Easy repaired. Stick the applicator nozzle in. Give it a little bit of pressure. You can look for a hole down here, and you can see where the hook came out. We can stick the applicator right in. Pull it up there. We'll drop this one down. That bait's repaired. I will repair this D-Bomb because it's normally I wouldn't do this, but I want to show you how well this stuff works. Even on something like this, you would think, man, that's not going to be repairable. With the little applicator, get your glue in there, hold it down for a few seconds. Once you get it in place, I mean, I'd give it 10 seconds or so. If you've only got a few baits, you can drop the bait down like this and hold it. That tends to give you a little better bond, but usually in about 20 seconds that's good. If you wait until they are totally torn up, they're going to be much harder to repair. So if you have this bait on here and every other cast it's coming down here, you need to take this bait and put it in your repair bin and go to the next bait. First suggestion, use the Mend It. Get yourself an applicator bottle. Don't wait for the worms to get totally tore up. Use a small bait bin for your repair worms, and do it daily or every other day or every other week. depending on how much you fish, and you're going to save a ton of money. I think you'll really like this product. All right, guys, that's it. That's how I repair my worms. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. And as usual, I'm going to leave you with just saying I hope you guys catch some fish. Send me a picture. Hope to see you guys on the water sometime. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.